In this video, I'll be explaining to you 6 important things to remember while hiring a freelancer for your business. So you've started your own business and you need an expert to get a specific job done. The best way to make sure that the job is done without putting a dent in your budget is by hiring a freelancer. So without further ado, let's get started. The first point to remember is to set clear goals. It's important to set clear goals and needs about the job that is to be done by the freelancer for your business. You need to do this so that you can hire the right kind of freelancer for you. If you need the freelancer to do a product design for you, you need to be definitive about it and you should be able to understand the job at hand yourself. This helps you hire the right freelancer instead of hiring someone who is not perfect for the job. Let's say you want someone to do a product mockup for you. For that, you need to find a freelancer who has the skills and the expertise in creating designs, instead of finding someone who has the experience of programming or any other field. So make sure you have all these goals set before hiring a freelancer. The next point to remember is to discuss the ownership of the work. You need to discuss the ownership of the work with the freelancer to avoid conflicts. It's important you ask the freelancer to send you all the pertaining files after the job is finished and you keep ownership of the work that is done. The ownership of the code or the design is one of the biggest reasons of conflicts between freelancers and businesses. So it is important to discuss this point with the freelancer before the job is started. Make sure you and the freelancer sign a contract so that after the job is done, there is no conflicts on the point of ownership of the work. You need to negotiate the terms of the ownership with the freelancer and make sure that the freelancer doesn't use the same code or design for any of the other projects that he takes up. The next point to remember is to be clear with your communication. Being clear with your communication while hiring a freelancer is also important. Make sure that you clearly communicate with the freelancer about the job at hand and there is no point that is left out from the job brief. It's very unprofessional of you if you don't communicate clearly at the start of the project and after the job is done, you realize that you missed a point that has affected the outcome of the project. So make sure you communicate all the requirements to the freelancer right at the start itself. The other point to keep in mind while communicating with the freelancer is the timeline of the job. You need to be very clear with the freelancer about the date of delivery of the project. Missing out on this detail can absolutely derail your project and make it difficult for you to get the job done by the freelancer. The fourth point to remember is that freelancers are not available the whole time. Freelancers are usually working on more than one project at a time. It is essential to understand that because of this, the freelancer is not going to be available to you like a full-time employee of your company. The major mistake we do while hiring a freelancer is not hiring someone who is available during our own work hours. There are freelancers available all around the world. So make sure that the freelancer you hire is from the same time zone and is available to you during your own work hours. It makes no sense hiring someone for a company in the US and while the freelancer is working from India. Doing this causes a lot of problems communicating with the freelancer, and you can have a huge time gap communicating even the smallest of details to the freelancer. This can make you wait up to 12 hours, which is very difficult while communicating even the smallest of messages to the freelancer. The fifth point to remember is to set clear payment terms. It often happens that we start a project to be something, but as time passes, the requirements of the job start to increase or change altogether. But there arises a new problem which is very hard to solve: the payment terms of the new requirements of the job. To solve this problem, make sure that you define the payment terms with the freelancer at the start of the project. And remember to include discussions about payment terms if the job at hand increases. The last point to remember is to look for freelancers who have already worked in your niche. It's important to hire freelancers that have already worked in the niche of your business. This helps you and the freelancer to understand the job at hand very easily, and communication also becomes much more simpler. One of the main advantages of this is that the freelancer can suggest improvements and changes so that your product or service can get better. They can also look into things that you may have ignored during the concept development of the project. It's almost like hiring a partner to improve your product or service, that too temporarily and at a very low cost. Hiring a freelancer from your niche also allows them to be faster with the delivery of the project because they've already worked on something similar before. So, those were the 6 things you should remember before hiring a freelancer. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such videos.